Hi guys, Frankie V here with an update as to the art direction for Urban Terror HD to give you guys some sort of idea what to expect once it's been released. One of the things that we're mindful of is being able to maintain that artistic impression that has been made Urban Terror rather popular, I guess, as far as visualization of a three-dimensional environment goes. And we're in the process of converting some of our maps over to Urban Terror HD, and one of the maps that we are converting over is Mykonos, which is a smallish type of deathmatch / arena map suitable for 4 to 6 players, which has always been kind of lacking in Urban Terror HD, considering that Urban Terror is a team-based centered around team-based gameplay. So this is going to fill in that gap for those once we go on to get onto something like Steam, for example, that will allow players to introduce themselves into our gameplay in the form of deathmatch playing, as well as obviously we'll put in some, hopefully some capture the flag type of elements or so forth into it. Moving over to the Unreal 4 engine has given us a lot of ability to create highly detailed environments, yet maintain a reasonable hardware specification requirement. So until we actually start getting the framework up and running as far as an alpha testing goes, then it's going to, we won't be able to produce any reasonable benchmarks as far as performance margins goes. But that's something to work out as we go along, because we certainly do want to make sure that we can create detailed environments at the same time, maintain a reasonable performance hit as far as design goes. Unreal 4 engine does help out a lot as far as taking care of a lot of the basic requirements as to performance issues. So say for example I have a chair selected here, and you can see that I have a number of chairs within the viewport at the moment. So each of these chairs is simply just a drag and drop copy, instant copy of one chair. What makes it unique is that each of these chairs is an instance copy of this single chair. So although you see 6 chairs here in the viewport, in actuality, as far as memory footprint goes, as far as the engine is concerned, that's one chair, but it's simply rendered out into 6 different positions. So that really helps out with performance overall, particularly if you look at, say for example, the rail here. You can see we have a number of risers here with a fair amount of detail onto it. Yet if we look at this way here, over in this direction here, anything that's in this direction is not rendered to and called to the viewport. So what you see in the viewport is what's only being rendered, so to speak. It's everything else is excluded or called, so that maintains a pretty good performance margin overall. Running around the map, I have found that maintaining 120 frames per second isn't been difficult at all, as something that I'm paying attention to as far as benchmark goes. If there's any unusual drops, it usually tells me that that whatever I did last has included a rather significant performance hit. So one of the nice things about Unreal 4 2 as well is you can use what's called a post. Let's see what it is. A post. Okay, I can't seem to find it. Let's see. We'll go Control G. That's this guy right here. No, that's the light mask. This guy right here, which is a post process, which allows you to change the overall visualization of whatever is in that area. So, for example, I can put in an ambient cube map, auto exposures, and so forth. So these kind of things will allow you to kind of add in various types of effects within that volume of space. One of the things that, as far as post-processing goes, that does add a significant performance hit is like things like depth of field. So, you know, that's a 30 frames per second loss just by activating that. So it's something that we'll have to be able to either have means of being able for the player to turn that off or not to turn it on in the first place. So this is actually a pretty nifty little helpful little process, shall we say, that allow you to you know, add detail into specific areas without affecting the overall volume of the environment. So if you have a special area that you want to put in some detailing and so forth into it, and some depth of field, as long as it's not going to be heavily, let's say this area back here is not going to be a playing field area. So you can add in a significant amount of detail in this area and limit the post-process to anything fancy that is limited to this area that doesn't affect the overall map environment. So there's a lot of performance things like that that are included as part of the ability to you know, cater to both detail as well as to minimum hardware specifications. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just kind of take a look around here. I have one of our HD player models, Sarah, into the environment to give it. This is obviously, this map is a work in progress. You could say that this is the completed build map, and we're going to get into start working on detailing things like, for example, the glass here needs to be pushed back. It's kind of pushed out a bit. So, you know, things like that, texture and material works need to still be done a little bit better. This is just, you know, material that just happened to be in the browser that was blue, so I just kind of tossed it on to get a kind of an idea of how it's going to turn out. Some of the things it looks like it's moved as far as placement goes. Some stretching going on, some UV mapping needs to be taken care of. You know, this is a nice little area here. We got some motion blurring for some reason going on, which is something I'm going to have to turn off because that is a performance hit. But still, as you can see, we're still over 100 frames per second. And this back end area here, you know, you got to have the windmills because they are a centerpiece item as far as Mykonos goes. So I cleared out the back area, buildings from the back that were blocking the area here. It just kind of felt like a bit claustrophobic in this area, so I sort of figured it'd be a great place to put in some proxies for now of the windmills that are rather let's say a tourist attraction as far as Mykonos goes. We've got a back courtyard here. I have some trees that were part of the main browser, a free sample speed tree in the background. That was a free sample which we were free to fair use. The ground itself needs this is just kind of like a placeholder. You know, we need some variations in the ground and what have you. I open up this area back here a bit to kind of let players kind of duck in to the back area. As you can see, we got somewhat of a performance hit. Well, not really. That's the thing about frames per second, is it's not really a true evaluation of the frame rate. As you can see, this is actually a lot more accurate than the one that's in Urban Terror HD, as it does fluctuate quite a bit, which is how it should work, as opposed to, say, a fixed number that says, okay, you're doing 126 frames per second, which is more or less a feel-good number. But as you can move into different areas, like you know, we take the high value, you take the low value, and that's your frame rate. So that's neither here nor there. As you can see, as we move into different areas, there are lighting issues as far as the player model goes at the moment. This is a sandbox version. We do not have the movement system in place in this sandbox. This is just for me to be able to, so I can kind of look around the player model, see how it's reacting, and as far as things like visibility goes and so forth. And at the moment, it's just a simple diffused texture that has been applied to the player model. So you know, there will be visibility issues, but this can be changed based on adding various different, let's say, different types of material layers that will allow it to react better to a given area. So in this area, for example, we can have it's kind of blending into the lighting rather than standing out a little bit, but with the proper materials onto it, we can make it react differently as a percentage difference. So for example, we want a 15% increase in the overall luminosity of the player, so it sort of stands out. You know, it doesn't kind of blend into as a flat object. So anyways, I hope this is enough to keep you guys happy for a bit until we can get things a little bit more up to speed, so to speak. Well, actually we are getting significantly up to speed, but we obviously need a lot more things like materials and stuff like that to be able to quickly build maps quickly. For example, this map here took about been working on it for about four and a half weeks, which could have been done significantly quicker if we already had the types of materials that are, let's say, urban terror definable. Okay, anyways, we'll call this one done for now, and we'll see you in the next update.